Good morning, children. In my last class, I explained about what a matter is. Matter stands for something which occupies space and has volume. Now, we also have gone through the various examples related to it, and through activities you have understood that it is made up of particles which are very, very minute, and that was understood by activity 1.1, in which you dissolved sugar in a beaker, or say salt in a beaker of water, and you couldn't find out where the particles were. Secondly, you have understood the activity on dilution. You diluted potassium permanganate solution, and as you keep on diluting, the color becomes faint, but still it is visible. Instead of potassium permanganate, if you go for Dettol solution, then you find that the smell of the Dettol becomes faint. It fades away, but still smell is there. So this is what we did in the last class. Today we take up what are the characteristics of particles. The very first characteristic you get it from the previous two activities, that particles are having space in between them. Just because there is space in between them, they are dissolved. They dissolve or they mingle into each other, right? So when you are preparing, say, lemonade, or say tea or coffee, whatever it is, the particles of the tea move into the space of the particles of water. The particles of the lemon solution moves into the particles of the water solution. That space gets occupied. You say that they have dissolved, and it imparts the flavor to the medium. Flavor, color to the medium. Got it? So first property is particles have space between them. But now when particles are moving to occupy the space, particles have occupied the space, it means they must have undergone motion. So the very next characteristic is particles exhibit movement. For this, a very simple activity again. You put an unlit incense stick, agarbatti, in the corner of your classroom. You will not get the smell of it, am I right? But if you light it, then the smell will reach to the neighboring classrooms also, am I right? During when you are at home and studying, your mother might be cooking something tempting in the kitchen. Without going over there, you get the aroma of it, and then you are able to know what your mother is cooking. Am I correct? But if that same food goes cold, then you will have to go near it to get the aroma. Am I right? So particles are in motion. Another activity is 2 glass beakers have been taken, and you are asked to drop a colored ink in the first beaker, any colored ink in the first beaker, and in the second beaker honey is to be dropped. Okay, what is the difference between these two? Ink is more fluid in nature, honey is viscous, thoda gaada hota hai. Now we let them remain undisturbed. What will happen after some time? The moment the ink has been dropped, you will find that the region around the ink starts getting colored, and slowly and steadily the complete solution, complete water becomes colored. Whereas when the honey is dropped, it will first settle down because it's slightly heavy, I told you, viscous. And then it will take some time, more time rather, to dissolve. Correct? So this is another activity which is telling you that movement takes place. Some particles move slowly, some particles move fast. The movement of the particles will depend upon the state in which it is present. So honey was more viscous, and hence the movement was slow. Another activity given over here is copper crystal, copper sulfate or potassium permanganate. Actually, copper sulfate is peacock blue in color, potassium permanganate is slightly on the pinkish side. You are asked to drop them, any one of the colored crystal, in 2 different containers. In one container you are having hot water, and in the other container you are having cold water. You allow the crystals to be present in each container, and then let the time pass. Without stirring, just observe what will happen. You'll find that after some time, in the container having warm water, the particles have dissolved, or it has become more colored quickly rather than the cold water. What does this say? It tells you that though movement takes place, the movement is affected by temperature. Because as the temperature increases, the kinetic energy, what is kinetic energy? Energy which is associated with motion. So the kinetic energy increases, and hence the particles exhibit motion more rapidly. That is the same reason why the aroma from the hot food reaches you even if you are far away, but from the cold food you are unable to get the smell. So the particles, the phenomenon by which the particles are moving or mixing into two different types of matter, the particles mix with each other, that process is called diffusion. Diffusing. So in the first activity of today, where the incense stick you talked about, the particles of incense stick diffuse into the air. In the second case, the particles of the ink diffuse rapidly and the particles of honey diffuse slowly. In the third situation, the particles of the crystals, either copper sulfate or potassium permanganate, that also diffuse, but in hot water it diffused quicker, faster compared to cold. So rate is different. A third and a final characteristic of particles is they attract each other. To understand that, there are 4 groups to be made over here. An activity is given. The first group, they are asked to hold each other from the back and lock the arms, as it is shown in this particular picture. This is an Assamese dance. Okay, so they are holding on to each other very closely. The second group of dancers are asked to hold their hand to form a human chain. Holding the hand with human chain means your hand is to be held not from behind as it is shown over here. Okay. The third situation is where you are just touching each other with the fingertips. Now the fourth group of students are asked to run and break the 3 groups. And question asked is, which group is easier to be broken? So simple. The group wherein they are just holding each other by the tips, that will be easily broken. Whereas this chain is difficult to be broken because they are very closely attached. So attraction, if it is more, if the particles are bound very closely, it will take more time for the particles to loosen out and mingle. This activity, there is yet another activity mentioned that there are few substances which have to be broken down. Iron nail, chalk, rubber band. You know that iron nail, no matter whether you hammer it, cut it or stretch it, you cannot break it. Whereas chalk, by a slight hammering, even with your finger, you can break it. Rubber band on the other hand, if you stretch it beyond its limit, it may break or you will have to cut it. So, out of the 3, you find that the intermolecular force of attraction is more in iron. It's denser, density is very high. Particles are very, very close, so attraction is very, very strong. So, it's very difficult to break it. In the running tap water, they are asking you to break it with the help of your fingers. Are you able to do so? Well, not, because particles of water are attracted with each other by a very weak force, hydrogen bond, and hence you cannot separate it. So, the particles are in attraction, are in constant attraction, due to which they cannot be separated. So, if you sum up the 3 characteristics which we have learned today, it would be that the particles have space between them, particles are in constant motion, and particles attract each other. Got it? So now, your homework for the day would be, are you able to see these blue questions which are given in your note? in your text on page number 3. There are some blue questions which are given. I would like you all to attempt it in your notebook. Try to find out the answer on your own. In the next class, I will discuss the answer so that you can correct yourself. Make a 200 pages notebook for science and try to write these answers in them. Okay? So, good luck for your homework.